So let us start the session. The first presentation is coming from Professor Dr. Muhammad Saidur Rahman sir. And sir will talk on clinical trial. I'm glad to share a few glimpses about his magnificent research activities in professional and teaching career. Professor Muhammad Saidur Rahman is currently holding the chair of Department of Pharmacology, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University. He contributed to formulate the national strategy to contain antimicrobial resistance as well as the National Action Plan in Bangladesh. Professor Rahman was one of the global leaders on antimicrobial resistance to participate in United Nations General Assembly high-level meeting. Professor Rahman has supervised more than 25 theses for PhD, MD and MPhil degrees under different universities. In recognition of his contribution in medical science, Bangladesh College of Physicians and Surgeons has awarded honorary fellowship of College of Physicians and Surgeons to Professor Muhammad Saidur Rahman. His most recent clinical trial on convalescent plasma therapy received the global attention and mentioned in Nature News immediately before the decision-taking meeting of United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA. So, without further delay, may I invite Professor Muhammad Saidur Rahman sir to deliver his presentation. Thank you, sir.
Get key which up pointer line, pointer line. Respected chairpersons of this session, Professor Pradeep and Professor Altaf, distinguished speakers, learned audience of which some are my teacher, Professor Faiz sir, is my idol. I'm inspired by lots of his work. Learned audience here, where a couple of my students are direct students of undergraduate and postgraduate are present here. In addition, young researchers and scientists who are here. Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon. At the beginning, I just want to have a disclaimer because I hereby declare that as I'm going to talk on clinical trial, there might be some harsh word regarding industries. So I hereby declare that I have never received any financial or other types of support from any pharmaceutical industry. The views expressed in this presentation is absolutely of my own and is not influenced by any kind of obligation or relationship. In order to initiate the discussion about clinical trial, I just want to have a few words on biomedical research. All of us know that the biomedical research is the broad area of science that involves the investigation of the biological process and the causes of disease through careful experimentation, observation, laboratory work, analysis, and testing. But the most important point that moves around this issue of biomedical research is how the priority is decided. Priority of research or the research area, how that is being determined. It is expected that possibly the magnitude of the problem, the severity of the disease, and the impact of innovation on health and society is the driving force of the research priority. But decision about the research priority is taken by, all of us know that the global biomedical research, particularly the clinical trials, are sponsored by pharma industry or device industries. And therefore, unfortunately, or whatever there is in it, because of the extensive commercialization of the research and the medical science, this priority is taken by the owner or management of the pharma industry. That is why the priority of research is being driven by only one factor. Unfortunate truth is the principal determinant of the decision regarding the research priority is the profit opportunity. That means the size of the wallet of the potential patient who are going to procure or buy that particular drug or the outcome of that research. That is the determinant that on which area the clinical trial or the research will be conducted. And that is why there is an initiative in order to overcome this. I am not talking about that. That is DNDi. That is an initiative. And Professor Fayez sir was very much involved in TDR and DNDi. And Professor Fayez sir's research on malaria is beyond this limit. So there are very few exceptions from this profit opportunity. That is the driving force. So there's just whenever we are trying to explain that what is clinical trial, there are lots of differences and there are lots of different ideas around the world. I'm just trying to adhere to the global norm, particularly the most important grant approving authority of the globe, that is NIH. They define clinical trial as a research study in which human subjects are prospectively assigned to one or more intervention to evaluate the effects of those interventions on health-related biomedical or behavioral outcomes. That is the definition through which NIH decides whether this particular research proposal adhere to be considered as a clinical trial or not. All of us know about these stuff that I'm just reviewing, that there are phases, and traditionally it is considered that there are 4 phases. And that is phase 1 is expected to establish safety and the pharmacological aspects like pharmacokinetics dynamics and the dose finding, that is ascending or descending dose. So that's a different kind of thing in phase 1. Phase 2 is directed towards establishment of the efficacy. Phase 3 is directed towards extensive randomization in order to prove that between the treatment which one is better. And phase 4 is a long-term surveillance, that is in a broader population, that is the whole population. Usually that is the step usually happen after approval of the drug. So let us have a complicated picture. I'm just trying to complete the picture of the drug development. That is, from the preclinical trial there is investigational new drug, there is a phase 0. I will talk about this later on. And after that phase 1, as I already mentioned, there is phase 2, there are certain features there. Phase 1 is usually conducted in healthy, phase 2 is in the patient, and phase 3 also in the patient. And phase 2 is again subdivided into phase 2A and 2B. Similarly, phase 3 is also again subdivided into phase 3 and phase 3A and B. And then new drug application for approval, and after getting approval, the phase 4, that is popularly named as post-marketing surveillance, but now it is now also named as pharmacovigilance. There is a different kind of thing, and the electronic health records and other kind of things are used for that purpose. But the phase 0 is actually not a mandatory one. That happens on a particular condition. I will explain that. And phase 4 is a continuous one. And usually we know that whenever a drug is registered, only 50% of its adverse effect is known at that point of time, and remaining 50% is known in next 15 years. And that happens during this phase 4. Phase 0 is a phase recommended for special cases for molecules which were never used in human before. And the purpose is human microdosing study with single subtherapeutic dose. There is a very little amount of drug is administered in subtherapeutic dose just to get an idea that is whether that drug is safe or not, and very small number, that is 10 to 15, and that can only give certain preliminary idea. So phase 0 is not a compulsory one for all of the clinical trial, but usually FDA now impose this phase for certain molecules. And there's a hybrid phase, that is we are familiar with this on this occasion. During this pandemic, we have seen a couple of studies, those are of hybrid in nature. That is phase 1, 2 simultaneously or phase 2, 3 simultaneously. Actually this thing was never, this was not very much common in clinical trial beforehand, but because of the urgency, that is the global emergency, this phase 4, hybrid nature phases are now being allowed on different occasions, particularly in vaccine research. So let us look into the global landscape of the clinical trial. There's one point is registration. This is very crucial. And we need to know that if the clinical trial is not registered, that will not be accepted by any reviewer or any of the regulator. So it has to be registered. And there are certain advantages of this registration process. And this is uniformity. That is the basic point, because whenever a clinical trial is being designed, that should be uniform in nature globally. And for that purpose, one is ICH guideline that we need to adhere, and another is CONSORT that actually pushes us to remain in the same framework. And the other additional benefits of this registration are transparency, accountability, accessibility, public confidence, and immunity against bias. So all these are the advantages of registration, and that is why this has become a norm that every clinical trial must be registered before initiation or enrollment. So these are common registration sites, of which this is the most common popular one, that is clinicaltrials.gov, that is on USA. And for European Union, they have a EU clinical trial register. For WHO, even they have also introduced the International Clinical Trial Registry platform. And in addition, WIRB Copernicus Group, they have set up a center watch, and where Bangladesh also has got a subdomain in the center watch in order to register the clinical trials now being conducted in Bangladesh. So if we look at the location, that is among the registered trial till yesterday, that is last night, if we look at that, what is the location of the clinical trials registered in the clinicaltrial.gov, it is interesting to note that of the total study, 148,000 study is registered from USA, 23,000 from China, 4,600 from India, only 477 from Bangladesh, and 222,000 from rest of the world. So if we look at the cost of drug, if we standardize, take standardize USA, that is one, Russia conduct those study at only 40% of the cost, and the remaining part, that is, if we look at the next countries like Argentina, China, India, and as well as Bangladesh, they usually conduct the study within half of the expenditure. See, if we look at this, in this year, 68,000 crore taka clinical trials are being conducted in Asia and Pacific. And Bangladesh has got the strength. They have got large number of specialties, 100,000 English-speaking physicians, and treatment provided according to the Western protocol. There is a number of patients, that is large diverse patient, large patient pool of acute and chronic disease, and major genetic traits all are available here. And the infrastructure, that is over almost 100 medical colleges, 7,000 medical graduates each year, 900 postgraduates, and that is the most important strength, 9,000 postgraduate residents per year, and over 1,500 hospitals. So grooming the postgraduate residents as a young researcher is one of the principal strengths of Bangladesh, which is to be maximized. If we look at the present situation of Bangladesh, if that is the commonest condition I was just looking for, is cesarean section and infection. We found 114 studies registered in clinicaltrial.gov, and unbelievably, Bangladesh, there's no study on clinical cesarean section with infection. So that is one of the points where we have enormous strength, but even then, we are just not conducting research clinical trials on that particular area where we could have led the world actually, and we could have generated information which is very important for the globe. So I'm just, before I conclude, that's a common story. আমরা সবাই জানি টাইটানিকের গল্প, কিন্তু যে গল্প জানি তার বাইরের একটা গল্প হচ্ছে টাইটানিক যখন আঘাত করে বরফের চাইতে, তখন তারা নাবিকরা আঘাত বলছিল যে তাকিয়ে দেখো ওই পাশে স্টারবোর্ড মানে ডান দিকে বরফের চাই, তখন নাবিকরা ওই ক্যাপ্টেন এবং ইঞ্জিনিয়াররা বলছিল ওয়েট, উই আর ইন দ্য মিডল অফ এ আইস কনফারেন্স অন আইসবার্গ অ্যাভয়েডেন্স। সো আমরা কি সেই ক্যাপ্টেন আর ইঞ্জিনিয়ারদের মতন, আমরা টাইটানিকের ক্যাপ্টেনদের মতো এরকম সেমিনার, সিম্পোজিয়াম করব, ওয়ার্কশপ করব, কনফারেন্স করব, নাকি আমরা অপেক্ষা করব যে সবাই মিলে কাজ করতে হবে? ওই যে একটা আফ্রিকান প্রভাব আছে, ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু গো ফাস্ট গো অ্যালন, ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু গো ফার গো টুগেদার। নাকি আমরা ভাববো যে আমরা সবাই মিলে যাব, অতএব চলেন আমরা অপেক্ষা করি, একত্র হই? নাকি আমরা
যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে
টাইটানিকের ক্যাপ্টেন আর ইঞ্জিনিয়ারদের মতন আমরা এই বিশাল সম্ভাবনাকে ইগনোর করে সেমিনার ওয়ার্কশপ করব, নাকি আমরা অপেক্ষা করব কখন সারা দেশের বিভিন্ন সংগঠন সংস্থা সরকার সবাই মিলে ক্লিনিক্যাল ট্রায়াল করার বাস্তব অবস্থা তৈরি হবে, নাকি আমরা আজকে ফয়েজ স্যার বলছিলেন আপনাদের যে শক্তি সামর্থ্য আছে, আজকে এখানে যে কথাটি বলা হয়েছে আনলক ইওর রিসার্চ পোটেনশিয়াল, নাকি আপনারা আপনাদের গবেষণার সামর্থ্যে সেই চাবি ঘুরিয়ে তালাটি খুলে নিজেরা একলাই শুরু করবেন? সিদ্ধান্ত আপনাদের। অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ।